Hello everybody, it's Dio here from Firm But Fair Gaming, bringing you another Diablo 4 video. Today we are talking about the boss fights for transitioning from World Tier 2 to 3, and then from 3 into 4. So when you are World Tier 2, you have to go and complete the Cathedral of Light here, and this will unlock the ability to go to World Tier 3. And then when you are in World Tier 3, you then have to complete the Fallen Temple in order to get onto Torment 4. So let's just go, and I'm just going to show you it is on the map. And so it is over here, oh, right there. There it is. So then you have to complete that. So in the previous dungeon on Tier 2 to unlock Tier 3, the mobs are level 50, and then here the mobs are level 70. And of course, we want to progress through the torments because that they'd have higher drop rates and higher experience gains and all that sort of stuff, and as well as some uniques unlock on the higher difficulties. So now, let's say you're coming up to these boss fights, you're doing fine when you're out in the world, you're crushing everything, so you want to move to the next area, and then when you get in there and you're actually fighting the boss, you run into some difficulty where you keep dying. Happens to all of us, happened to me uh, when I was trying to transition from 3 to 4. And so what we really need to do, and this is just kind of a cheese strategy that I do. So the items that I like to use for what I call a cheese strategy, because after all, we're just trying to survive. We know we got the damage, so we just need some extra survivability to get us through getting hit, as well as maybe helping us out if we fail a mechanic or two. So I like to use the protection. So this is while we are not healthy, a magical bubble is summoned around you for up between 3 to 5 seconds, and while we're in it, we are immune. So this can occur once every 90 seconds. So this is kind of our fail safe to save us from failing a big mechanic that might kill us. So this one is not able to be in the codex, but it drops all the time. So I just always keep one of these around just so that if I run into something where I'm dying a fair bit, I can just throw it on. The next piece that I want to use is, and this one is in the codex, so this is the might one. So if I go over to the codex, yes, I wasn't standing close enough. It is where right here. So we get 20% damage reduction for attacking with a basic skill. So we keep that up fairly regularly. And then the other one that we use that I haven't unlocked, but I found on a piece of armor. So that would be the aspect of the protector. So when we damage an elite, we grant us a barrier that absorbs up to X amount of damage, and it lasts for 10 seconds. This procs every 30 seconds, so it's up fairly regularly. The fight is probably a couple minutes long, depending on your damage, so it might even be longer, just depending on where you're sitting. So it can be up fairly frequent, which only gives us like 20 seconds of downtime, which does seem like a lot, but you generally have shields and other things that are giving you like fortify and stuff like that to help you out. So these are just extra things to kind of just help you absorb the damage. And as you can see here, so I know there it says that it absorbs up to 945, but if I look at there we go, the pants that I actually have it on, it actually absorbs 3497. So that's actually a max roll for me. So that's pretty sweet. So that would give me that shield, 3500 for 10 seconds out of every 30, which will help me significantly if I was getting hit by fireballs or melee attacks from the boss or ads or whatever. Or even if I got clipped by a failed mechanic, that shield would not kill me. It would probably just use up the shield and I would be fine. All right, let's show the boss fight and see what it looks like with these pieces in action. So again, we have the damage reduction as soon as we hit with a basic attack, and we just gain the shield from hitting an elite. So we have that absorb shield. You can see it on our health bar there. And now we also are going to have that bubble if we almost die. So basically, we need to learn the mechanics. So that shield was nice there. It absorbed everything. As you can see right there, I can back it up just a smidge. So this is going to summon a bunch of ads. If you can stand in those circles, it's basically going to one-shot you, which would proc our circle. And we want to save that because it's got a longer cooldown. So you just stand in between them, dodge them, and then go back to killing the boss. These guys will group up on you. It has another one where it's going to summon succubuses. Those ones are a little bit more painful. As you can see, we're getting beat up due to all of the fireballs there, and then we should have dodged that. And we had our fortify up from hitting the boss from our item. So we got that shield again, which enabled us to kind of stand in that circle, even though we really shouldn't have. And then this one summoned all the succubuses and some of these dreadlords or whatever you want to call them. You just got to clean them up. They do drop pots, so pot as often as you want. You should be doing pretty good. And then we just dodge some fireballs. So then once he's sub 50, he does that. So you go through on one side, and then you go back through on the other. And you, even though it'll be up on the back side, you can be safe to walk through. So again, we got our shield up yet again for hitting the boss. We go through, we can go back through while there's already fire. It doesn't really hurt us, we're good to go. Dodge these circles, go back onto the boss, and we're just rinse and repeat. But you can see how much we are getting value out of the absorb shield that we're getting for hitting the boss. So just gotta survive here. This is a little bit pandemonium. See, we just got our shield back yet again. It is so big, so much value. And then we just got clipped there, and it would have killed us, but instead it gave us a immune bubble. So we only got like 3 or 4 seconds in there. And well, I got lucky there that the pet decided to finish off the boss for me. But you can just see the value that we're getting out of the different pieces. We got the free shield, which we got to pummel the boss, the 20% mitigation from our basic attack, and then of course the big value from the shield that we constantly got there 3 or 4 times throughout the fight against the boss, which just helped absorb all those fireballs that he was throwing out, as well as some of the damage from the ads when they came out. Of course, it's not just us anymore. We have our pet, so you can also utilize the pet as well to help you survive. If you're fortunate enough to find all your stones, you can, if you have the protect one, this would be pretty useful. The construct puts a protective barrier on the player for 43% of their max life. It lasts for 5 seconds, and then with some of your tuning stones here, you can make it either last longer. There's like a duration support as well here. And then also, like, you can do some other things like, where had I seen it? Like, here is the fortify support, so you could put this onto like a damage ability. You could have one support ability to give you the shield, and then on their damage ability, you can give it so that it gives you fortify as well. So that is also an option, because after all, like, the pet does do decent damage. So while we're surviving, and like if we're dodging mechanics, the boss, if we need to stay away from him, the pet here is actually going to damage the boss. So in theory, if you survive long enough and are good enough with dodgy mechanics, if you're a little bit low on damage, the pet might help you out and kill the boss for you. So this is another avenue to check out. Again, you just have to go through your various, oh, there it is there, I don't have it. The tuning stones in order to help change or help to make this more effective in the support ability for you to help you live if you need to. So that's all I have for this video. I hope my version of a cheese strategy is helpful. I know we didn't recreate the wheel, but a lot of players I find forget that while you're dead, your damage is 0. So, and also in those big boss fights, as soon as you die, the boss just heals back. You got to start all over again. And as we transition into the higher difficulties, survivability is more and more important. So this kind of cheese strategist helps us, if we accidentally fail one mechanic, get the boss low, we would die at, 25 or 10% and then have to start over. This kind of helps get you through that. And what I find is by employing this like massive defensive strategy, because we have the damage, it just lets you kill it in 1, 2, 3 attempts or so, versus when you're all kind of glass cannon, as I would say, then you might spend an hour just dying over and over and over to this boss. But by just changing these few simple items, utilizing the pet a bit more efficiently, you can just save yourself some time, some headache, some annoyance, and just quickly down the boss and then move on to the next difficulty. If you find that these defensive items, like you survive for a long time, but the boss still isn't dying quickly enough, like if the boss fight is going on 3, 4, maybe even 5 minutes, you probably just don't have the damage yet to transition into the higher difficulty anyway. So unlocking it might be more frustration because if you did finally kill it and then get out there, you're going to die a ton anyway. So you might want to just go farm some more gear. But anyway, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it helpful. If there's another area of the game that you're having trouble with, drop it in the comments and I'll be gladly share my advice with you and all that I have. So anyways, like I said, hope you enjoyed the video. As always, we appreciate like, shares, and subscribe. So please click those buttons. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video.